So I'm gonna go do a rant on the Knicks. This actually reminded me. This actually reminds me of a rant I did before about when the Knicks will the Knicks ever be judged fairly? Of course not. Listen, everything in New York gets amplified, bro. Everything gets amplified. Niggas that didn't know who Quentin Grimes was last week, all of a sudden are lauding the Knicks for trading Quentin Grimes. Not understanding that Quentin Grimes, first of all, we've all said that he could ball, right? We've all knew that he could ball. Problem is, he was in a situation with New York that, never would have allowed him to produce like he's now producing with a bad Philly team that's pretty much going out there, rounding out the end of the season. They don't realize that he had a couple of 30-point games with the Knicks when, we had guys out with injury, right? So you saw the preview. But I gotta get into the idea and the chatter. Look, let's keep it real. Knicks took a bad loss last night. Looking at that game, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then I realized these guys not playing hard. We're getting beat. Again, hey, my new skittish Villy. I remember the guy from Denver back in the 90s. He was the fifth pick in one of them drafts, like 97 or 98. I remember playing with him on fucking NBA Live, and then did he stay along? Was he in the league long enough for the 2K era? But anyway, the kid Manu Skittish Villy, or whatever the fuck his name is, Machiavelli. We call him Machiavelli. Busted our ass. We ain't see him coming. Look, the Knicks walked through that first half. The Knicks, nobody wants to buy it. I said this on All Ball TV last night in the comments. They weren't trying to buy it. It's a fucking trap game, bro. The Knicks come out from California road trip. The Knicks come from a California road trip and then wind up, get one game at home against the Heat, and then they got to go to San Antonio, right? Of course, San Antonio has no Fox, no Wembanyama, out for the season, right? Okay, he was out for the season for everybody else. Ain't like San Antonio stopped winning games at all, stopped being competitive. It ain't like they stopped being coached. But yes, the Knicks fell into a proverbial trap game and got our asses beat. But for us, my inbox lit up. My inbox is lighting up. Oh, you got to stop trolling. I don't troll. I want you guys to understand, I don't get too high nor too low. What I thought of the Knicks, I thought the Knicks would be one of the contenders in the East. See, again, we have the fourth or fifth, whatever it is, 43-25. Denver took the L last night, right? Memphis took an L. We have one of the best 4 or 5 or 6, whatever, records in the NBA. But only us get to be looked at as pretenders. Look, Knicks have their problems. Knicks have their strengths. Knicks have their weaknesses. Are there teams that we can't beat? No, I don't believe that bullshit. I don't believe it. Again, I said this already, that no one has seen the Knicks at full strength. With Mitch back in the rotation, Mitch is not 100%. But already, with those 15 to 20 minutes that Mitch has given us, the Knicks defense has gone up to second in the league. If we fell off a little bit after last night's loss, okay. Look, everybody does this where they go on and they go on tangents about Bridges. Bridges had a bad game last night, right? The 5 games since the captain went down, he's been terrific. Scoring 23, 24 a night, shooting on 63%, right? The numbers are there. The numbers have been there for the whole season. Last night, he couldn't buy a bucket. Last night, Manu Skittish Villy, Scottivelli, Again, a kid that was from Seton Hall. Knicks didn't even look at him. Now look, that's one. If you want to troll the Knicks, that's one thing. We wound up getting our asses busted by guys who cooked in our backyard all the time. St. John's kids will cook us. Fucking Seton Hall kids will cook us. All the time this shit happens. It's like habitually. Habitually it happens. While I'm sitting here with Landry Shaman on my bench, this Skedersville kid, I think he's a free agent after this year. Not sure what his draft status was or how long San Antonio got him signed for, but I mean, look, the guys that bust our ass, hey, they obviously get up to play the Knicks. And look, the kid got a nice looking game, jump shot, good, pretty athletic. Guys should be he should be coming off our bench. Tip my hat to him. Couldn't miss. We couldn't buy a bucket. Our offense was horrible last night. All of these things are true, right? Again, 2 nights before, 41-15 in the third quarter against the Heat. I don't give a fuck that Jimmy's not there. I don't care that Wiggins didn't play. That's the Heat. They prepare. Tyler Hero, the All-Star, was cooking. The former All-Star. And we pretty much had Bam Adebayo on lock. Again, I don't get too high. I don't get too low. I know that the Knicks are going to wind up with 50-something wins. We're probably going to win. I thought we were going to go on an 8-game winning streak because we got Charlotte. Now, look, if we lose to Charlotte, if we don't come out hopping mad, and that'll be a character thing, right? Because that's the thing. In my opinion, the Knicks didn't play hard. Flat up, straight up and down, we did not fucking play hard. And we got our doors blown off. Period. We didn't play hard. Now, yeah, the Knicks are not good enough to come up go into a San Antonio and think they could walk through a game. They try to make runs. They got the lead down to 8. They got the lid on Chris Paul. They got the lid on Stephon Castle. And then what happened? Skedersville. Again, you know what I see? Knicks. One thing about me, let me explain this to y'all. One thing about me, I will never be that Knicks fan, the woe is me Knicks fan. If a nigga like that is busting our ass and he ain't got no long-term status with San Antonio, okay. We got a first-hand scout. You think the kid that played at Seton Hall didn't dream about playing across the river in Madison Square Garden every game? Go get the nigga in the all-season. If not, get somebody like him. Get these lunch pail buckets. Look, Landry Shaman and Campaign, nice pros, nice fringe NBA players. Both of them are probably playing for their next audition. I don't want to see them in the rotation in the playoffs. And this is something that Tibbs needs to fucking work out, because if we're down look, last year we had Dante DiVincenzo coming off our bench, or Quentin Grimes, and then to the point where it was Burks sitting out of the rotation. Mind you, I sat there in group chats. I can show you the proof why I said Burks was going to cook. After what's the name went down, I said Burks was going to cook against the Pacers, and he did. That he did when they gave him a chance. We had that coming off our bench. Burks is a lot better than Shaman. Look, and again, these are salary cap casualties. Burks played well enough in that Pacers series where we were not going to be able to sign him. So now we're down in the crust of a season, having guys like Shaman, again, guys that just, you're a fringe NBA guy. Payne, he's the third string point guard, playing your backup point guard, which you can't even start him when the captain's out. You got to start McBride, who was a shooting guard in college, never really got the proper training to run first string point guard. So yeah, while I love what Deuce is bringing for us defensively, as opposed to Cap, offensively we fell off a couple of ticks because he's more of a combo guard, 2 guard. Now your best playmaker is between Bridges and Hart. And this is the issue. Offensively, look, when we made the cat trade, I didn't say the Knicks were going to win a championship. I said the Knicks will be contenders because and that we are. We're the only ones that don't get to be contenders with the fifth best record in the league. Why? Why is that? You got to explain this to me. What I've said is that every fucking team, including the Cavs, including the OKC Thunder, are mid. Every team is mid. The only team that can say that they, because they have multiple finals trips and multiple conference finals trips is Boston. And even what I think Boston does is kind of fraudulent. But Boston has a plug and play. They have an interchangeable type of roster where anybody cooks on that team because really it's about getting open space, getting open shots. But nobody scares me. Nobody in this fucking league scares me. If the Knicks are playing their and that's the thing. That's the key. I don't care about no one else. I want y'all to understand this. When I troll people and say, are the Kings who just beat the Cavs last night, yes, they were missing Garland. Okay, the Kings were missing Sabonis and they were missing Levine. Okay? They're already down players. They're already, they pretty much broke up their team. And they lost to the damn Cavs. Well, that's what happens when the Cavs go out on a West Coast trip. Y'all forget the Knicks just came off a West Coast trip. And we dog walked the same Kings by 30, full strength. Except for that, Sabonis played. Yeah, Sabonis played against the Knicks. Because that's what happens. Injured players manage to not be injured against the Knicks. I gotta double check that whether Sabonis played or not. I believe he did. But either way, guys, either way, look, the only reason I'm sounding emotional about it because I'm sick of the rhetoric, bro. I'm sick of people inboxing me as if I'm not the Knicks fan that don't ever get too high or too low. I don't get too high. I don't jump off the deep end. Like I said, I stand 10 toes down. I name my podcast 10 toes down because no matter what I believe, no matter what I think, I stay on it. You're not going to see one loss, even if we lose to Charlotte tonight. I would be mad because the Knicks would not respond to a bad loss with a better effort. Because that's the only way we're going to lose to a terrible team like Charlotte. Again, we're down the captain. Who knows when he gets back? Let's take your time, take your time. But this is the problem. I'm not the Knicks fan that goes off the deep end, one way or the other. I think we're up there with anybody. I think we probably could be. Look, Detroit now, we're lined up to play Detroit. We beat Detroit. We would beat Detroit. We would beat Detroit. The team is green. The only one with playoff experience is Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. And they're terrible. A lot of nights they'll be a 2 and 3. Yes, Duren is the backbone of what they do defensively and rebounding. But you're gonna expect a 20 and 15 from Duren against Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns? No. The Knicks got too many guns to lose to Detroit, relying on Tobias Harris, who freezes up. Who is, we played him last year, right? See, all of this, if Embiid was, first of all, Embiid is never fucking healthy. That's why he hasn't seen the conference finals. Stop telling, I get so sick of it. I get so sick of it because everybody's injuries count but the Knicks. Forget we're down the captain. You think we would have lost this with the captain? People get so I don't know. It's like, do you want a hot take or something? I don't do that hot take shit. I do the one take shit. So the idea that people think about this. I'm fighting with Knicks fans, Knicks haters, personal friends, the whole nine. Like, come on, bro. You cannot troll me. I am too even keel. I don't get too high. I don't get too low on this, man. Would I assess the Knicks? That's what they are. Could we lose in the first round? Yes, possible. I got $500. I got $500 worth of bet. Once we get to that first round, that we get out the first round. I don't care who we play. We're going to be the third seed. Unless we go on a swoon, we're going to be the third seed. And we're going to play whoever's in the 6. That be that Indiana, be that Milwaukee, be that Detroit. Everybody else, the rest of the conference is in the play-in or in the lottery. So those are the 3. And I got $500 to divide up whatever bets. I mean, come on, bro. And then what we see in the second round, Boston, look, we got to start playing better, period. I think if we get to our A game, we can beat Boston. Yes, if we get to our A game, we can beat Boston. I'm going to say it again. If we get to our A game, we can beat Boston. Now, Boston can beat us with their C game, and that's the problem. If we're not on our A game. But to me, what Boston do is kind of fraudulent. They take too many threes. Go 30% from 3 in a series. They can get their asses knocked off by anybody. Well, one of about 4 or 5 teams in the East. That's my theory. Now, more than likely they won't shoot 30%. I mean, it depends on how you guard them. It depends on coaching is going to matter. And again, I did a series of videos. I want to try to get it in one, and that's the thing. That's what it's been hard to get out multiple videos and shit. And I don't even by the time I've recorded, I don't really have time to sit and decipher which video is about which. So I'm gonna try to delete all those and just kind of go off the cuff again. Because I did a series of videos about every individual play on the Knicks, almost like a report card. And maybe that's what I'll try to do on my podcast tonight as well. Do that quickly. But yeah, this is, guys, relax, man, relax. We're 43-25. We're coming off a Knicks era where, I mean, come on, man, y'all know where we were. Y'all know where we were tanking for Zion and getting R.J. Barrett. Y'all know where we were. Y'all know where we were in the Melo era. Y'all know where we were. Again, I'm one who always sticks up for Melo because Melo got all the fucking blame because the Knicks did not go and get him proper fucking help. Melo gets all the blame. And this is the thing. Go get the motherfuckers help. Go get, again, guys busting our ass, go get him. You cannot tell me he's going to be any worse off our bench. A 6'9" guy who can shoot, run the floor, and fucking hit threes. Dunk. Beating us down the court all night. Pick and pop. Boom. 34 points in fucking 19 minutes. You cannot. That's better than anything Cam Payne or Landry Shaman's done in their whole fucking career. So right there, go get the motherfucker. Obviously, he wants to play either with or against or for the Knicks. Go get him. The guys that keep busting our ass, go get him. That's my theory, man. Look, I get animated because I guess, that's the entertainment value in it. But I am also passionate about this because I get so sick of it. It's like, all right, yeah, the no-name kid with the big, long alphabet name bust our ass. Again, well, to me, go get the motherfucker when you get a chance. And also, yeah, if we fail, go get the superstar. Why not us? Why can't we get Giannis? Because guess what? One of these motherfuckers is gonna flame. First of all, you already got LaMelo Ball, who probably wants out, whose dad is, might not be with us that much longer. Wants to see him in a big market on a big time team in the playoffs. I'm sure he'll want out of Charlotte. Go get LaMelo Ball. Don't go get LaMelo Ball not to replace Brunson, to play with Brunson, because I believe that's what we kind of need. Yeah, the defensive backcourt will be ass. You will work that out. If Tibbs ain't the guy, get rid of the motherfucker. Go get a offensive guru who can still keep enough defense in place to actually go contend, to actually go be a favorite. Because as I said, we are contenders. If you're in the top 4, then that means you're expected to be in the Final 4 in the conference finals, and then you're a contender. You have we dog walk Cleveland. We gentlemen with the same Cleveland roster. Okay, give or take a Kevin Love or fucking Dean Wade, and I still got Max Strus, still got Isaac Okoro. They still got about 7 or 8 guys on that team that we dog walked. Only person they had was Hunter, who's averaging 14. Looking nice in their system, but He's averaging 14. We're the only ones where Bridges can have a nice 19. I mean, again, is he consistent? Yeah, he's not consistent because he don't get consistent touches. Some nights he's the fourth option. So I goes. So when I started this about Grimes, Grimes cannot do what he's doing now as the fifth option. He was always going to be the fifth option as long as that was the Knicks roster. He started being outplayed by DiVincenzo, who was brought in to be the sixth, not the sixth man, but the seventh man, because Josh Hart was the sixth man. He started being outplayed by him. Josh Hart is a guy you can throw at three, 4 positions, so he was the sixth man. DiVincenzo was flat out outplaying him at the 2 guard. He asked for the demotion. He scored 0 points because he was getting no touches playing with Randall Barrett and what's his name, quickly off the bench. And now, with an opportunity, everything that the Knicks fans were saying about him, you'll see it's true. But again, it's on a bad Philly team. Who else is going to score the ball? When they get their big three back, he's going to go back to being a fourth option. And he's going to go back to getting you a pedestrian 6, 7, 8 points a game. Now, not seeing that he can actually do something with the rock, maybe you draw him up some more plays. Oh, this is the revelation. The same thing we should be doing with Mikal Bridges. Remember, we basically turned a guy who in his last start for us got 0 points. Y'all forget that, yes, and Mikal Bridges has a 0-point game with the Knicks as well. But he also has a 44-point game against a team that we just lost to full strength on Christmas Day. Again, man. Again, all I'm saying, Knicks fans, get your head out your ass. Knicks, get your head out your ass. Go make these championship moves, man. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I never do. I never will. You can't knock me off my square. Knicks can go on a 5-game losing streak. And then we'll be, at that point, we'll be 43 and 30. We probably might be in the 4th seed. That might do us a favor because I would like to see Cleveland over Boston. I would like to see Cleveland early rather than Boston. But I'm not scared of neither one of them, man. And I want you guys to realize that, bro. So at the end of the day, that's what it is. I'll let y'all later.